You know what else I'm enjoying?
GameClub.
Yes. GameClub.
I knew it.
Ladies and gentlemen, each week we play a section of a game, a chapter of a game, a timed interval of a game. And then we talk about it on this podcast. And of course, last Game Club, we played Plague Tale Innocence. And now we are playing Plague Tale Requiem. In fact, we're almost halfway. Or no, we are halfway through it.
Didn't we play Alan Wake in between?
No.
Oh, okay.
We played Alan Wake before.
Oh,
we didn't play anything in between.
Oh, that's right. We did Guardians of the Galaxy, then Alan Wake, then Plague Tale Innocence, then Plague Tale Requiem.
Yeah.
Right. I remember.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we are currently on chapter 8 or 9.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, A Sea of Promises.
Yes.
And this is a fun chapter.
This one where
it kind of brought us back to like the second chapter, and I'm like, oh no, don't do this to me.
I have a feeling of where this is going, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. The game's not too subtle about, the way they do things. Like if you think back to the first Plague Tale where it's like, oh, there's bad stuff going on and you're walking through the city and Hugo's like, I smell cooking meat. Oh, it smells delicious, Amicia. May I have a bite? And it's just like, okay, well, where's the human fire going to be,
Yeah.
Whereas it's kind of like, I got the same vibes in this one a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Everything's all cheery and rosy and bright right now. So the chapter opens up, we're on the ship. Yeah. Of course, escaping from the other place and trying to find Lacuna
Matata.
Lacuna Matata.
Yeah.
The double
horny island.
Double horny island, yes.
On the boat, I noticed that what's her name on there? I can't remember.
Sophia?
She doesn't have a wheel on her boat.
No, she's got a rudder stick.
Yeah. Which I was like, oh, interesting. So
probably a lot simpler mechanically.
Yeah, but I mean, every other game I've ever played on a boat that's like that, it's always it's like the steering wheel thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, she's just got a rod. And before you trigger any cutscenes, I explored the whole ship before I talked to Sophia. Because either I talk to one of these three and then it triggers a cutscene and then we have to do things. So I explored the ship as much as I could.
I did too as well. Yeah. There was nothing really. I mean, there's stuff to look at, but there's nothing to find. Like you go like look through Sophia's room, and it's like, oh, she has all these treasures, and like, oh, she has a nice bed and whatever. But as I looked, I was like, man, nothing here is like the book is like leaning up against the wall on the shelf and everything.
Yeah,
like there's no way this shit would be on the boat like this. It would like as soon as they hit one wave, it would just fall over and shit.
Yeah, nothing's. They hadn't battened down anything.
No,
this ship. It's
exactly
just all laying around all over the place.
So I went and talked to Sophia, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to drive the boat?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I drove the boat a little bit, not actually drive the boat, just in the cutscene.
Yeah.
And then Hugo's like, "Oh, Misia, I see something. Come over here." So Hugo can see the little island, and then I just talked to what's his name, Arnaud.
Arnaud, yeah.
And he's working on his shield, fixing it up. And then we have to work on the sails, and then basically we pull into port.
Yep.
And get anything else on the boat.
No, and there's apparently a festival for the, what is it?
Child of Embers?
The Child of Embers, yeah. And we're like, uh-oh, who's this Child of Embers?
Yeah, gee, I wonder who the Child of Embers is going to be.
The Child of Embers is. So, but there's a whole festival going on, so you get to explore around a lot. And look at all the things, just like in Chapter 2, where there was a festival going on. You would look around a lot at all the things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, no, don't do this to me.
I know. This area was like super bright and like...
Yeah, bright and happy.
Too happy.
Way too happy for this game.
They're all like, oh, the festival's going on and every child's a blessing and this, just pouring on a little thick.
Yeah.
So I investigated everywhere I could find really in this area. I found the memory throwing the jars through
pots,
the hoops.
Yep. Did you get them all?
I did. How could you not get them all?
I didn't know how the physics worked. I was like, okay, well, I got to throw it right at it because then it'll go right through. And it's like, oh, nope, doesn't go right through.
Does it not have the little arc on it when you...
Yeah, it does. But then I was like aiming it. So like the circle was completely around the thing. So I'm like, yep, that's aimed right. It goes through. And it's like, nope, that's not how it works.
I aimed at it and moved it around a bunch. And I was like, oh, okay, this must be it. And then I moved it a little more. And I was like, that looks like the little line goes right through the hoop. Well, I'll try this one, so I did it anyways.
Yeah, that's how I did the second one. It was like, oh, okay, so it just shows it going through
the
hoop.
Yeah, I found the goat.
Yep.
The goat that yells at Hugo.
Oh, does he yell at Hugo?
Yeah, she's like, go pet the goat, and then the goat screams at him, and he's like, oh my god, the goat yelled at me.
Oh,
and then,
interesting, because that never triggered for me. I
No?
was like walking up and down this area, I'm like, okay, what is this area?
Oh.
And Hugo would not go in the pen.
There was a little, by the fence, there was a activation point.
Oh,
that
okay.
I pressed like A2, and then we both like stood by the fence. And then she's like, go over there, you can pet the goat. And then the goat like bleated at him, and he's like, oh my god, Amicia.
Yeah, because he was standing by the fence, and I'm like, okay, nothing's popping up, so I'll just go in there, and like, okay, nothing's happening, so I'll just leave, I guess.
And then the only other thing is I found the feather from the black kite
found that
by the bird or the tree.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're supposed to find out about this pool with the tree and everything, and like we're asking around, and Hugo's like, are there any big birds on this island?
Of course, lots of birds.
Yeah. But we eventually work our way to the like town square where the festival's starting.
Yeah.
And we slowly make our way up and around, and we get to a part where like the woman's like, hey, do you want to throw some flowers for them? And he was like, yeah. And he starts throwing flowers. And then he snatches the whole bowl and pours them all out. And, but we eventually get to the town square, and the festival woman that's supposed to be there is not there. And what was he like?
Count.
The count was there. And he's like, don't worry, everybody's coming. Everything's working to plan. Don't worry. And Arnaud's like, that's him. Let's go, Hugo. You agreed. We're going to kill this guy. Bring the rats. And Amicia's like, what? You made a deal with a kid to kill somebody? Like, what is wrong with you? He's like, you're betraying me or whatever. So we had to...
yeah, we realized that Arnaud is a huge douchebag. Couldn't last, I guess.
Well, I mean, whatever. He's got a job he wants to do.
Yeah, and that's to kill this guy.
So we ran away through the town. We're being chased.
Yeah, a little bit of a chase scene, a little bit of a puzzle scene, and a little bit of a falconeer scene.
The falconeer scene was interesting. Like, it kind of was like, what was even the point of this scene?
I don't think there was one.
Like,
it was so easy to do.
Yeah.
You just throw a rock, ting, move.
Run
throw
away.
A rock, ting, move.
I know.
It was so just thrown in for no reason.
Just to extend the duration of the level, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's going to play more of a part. Like, this is a little tutorial on how to do
maybe
evade falcons, but without having anyone else come and trying to mess up your show.
I guess so.
I would imagine that's what it was. But yeah, pretty easy. And then after that scene, you make your way up to where Arnaud and the Count are fighting. And Amicia grabs a rope and like pulls down some of the decorations and hits Arnaud.
This scene was so stupid because Arnaud's fighting the Count. And there's like two guards just standing there like, yeah, we'll let him fight. We'll see how this plays out. It's like, wouldn't the guards, unless the Count was like, no, I'll do this battle on my own. But wouldn't the guards try to fucking grab Arnaud when they're fighting the Count? Like, it was very stupid to me.
Yeah, it was like Arnaud was like, you broke my shield, you killed my men, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, when? Where's the backstory on this? When did we learn any of this?
I don't know.
What the hell?
I don't know. But Arnaud gets taken away. The Count is gonna grab Amicia and Hugo, but
his wife comes.
The Count's wife is like, hey, maybe we'll have a gentle hand with these guys here.
Yeah, they are just children. They just help you.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, these two bum kids? Yeah, you can come stay in the castle with us. No problem. There's nothing all weird about this.
Yeah.
Hugo and Amicia are like, yeah, okay, let's go. And as they go into the castle, slowly walk into the castle, we see like a ancient carving of a bird with a child underneath it.
Yeah.
And Amicia's like, look at that bird, Hugo. Is that the bird? And he's like, oh, the beak. Yeah, that's my bird. So...
Child of Embers.
Child of Embers.
Confirmed. Maybe. Who knows?
Well,
they could throw a fast one on us.
Yeah, they could. Well, come on. As if not the next chapter, Amicia's going to have to rescue Hugo from being burnt at the stake. Like, come on.
Probably.
I mean, honestly, she should just let him be burnt at the stake, probably.
I mean, at this point.
Like, how many people have died because of this kid?
Lots.
Yeah. So we get taken to a room, and then, like, she's like, we'll get you some new clothes, and here's some food, and you should jump up and down on the bed, and all this stuff. And I was like, well, first, I don't think that would even be a thing kids did back then.
Jump on the bed?
Well, there wouldn't be any springs in it.
It's just like a big pile of hay or
something.
It'd
be just a lump of cloth, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that's a modern invention, but I mean, I don't know. And that's basically it.
Yeah, that was
Chapter's
the chapter.
Over.
Not a lot of action, not a lot of exploration, and more confusion as to what everyone's deal is.
I thought the chapter was fine. Like, I liked the way it was set up and everything. I thought the running away from the guards was done well in this chapter because there was no, like, well, they telegraphed it a little more than other chapters where it's like, oh, there's a red line of paint on these walls. Maybe I'll take a right here where the red line goes.
There's no perspective swap where they swap to it going to like you're running at the camera, which always screws me up when that happens, and you're like, oh god, now I gotta
Crash Bandicoot level.
Now I gotta curb stomp my brain here and get everything's backwards.
It's and there are no rats in this chapter,
literally none.
So I'm sure we'll see a lot of rats in the next chapter to make up with it,
probably.
But I found a lot of parts and shit in this chapter, but I did finally upgrade when I was like, oh, Arnaud got taken away. Okay, I'll upgrade. Because I was saving my parts. Because I was like, if I have Arnaud to kill guys for me, I'm not going to upgrade my bow or anything till I know like what's going on. So I did upgrade my bow to level 2.
Yeah, I upgraded mine to level 1.
Nice.
Or
so you can carry an extra bow or an arrow now. Yeah, I can carry in one more, and then the next chapters you can recover them from dead guys.
Oh, yes.
That sounds pretty good.
That sounds really good, actually.
So we'll see what happens in the next chapter, but I like this one.
Yep,
but
it's good.
I mean, I guess they could be debating us, and it's not going to be Hugo that's going to get sacrificed as the Child of Embers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. The game has always
they're
been
really
like,
pointing it like that, and they've been really on the nose of things.
They're always like that in this series so far. There's been no, like, subtlety to it, really.
Yeah, definitely no major surprises.
Yeah.
Except for the stuff that they don't explain very well.
Well, and the surprises in this game are like, wow, that guy just summoned a rat tornado. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Sure wasn't.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yes.
I liked it.
Yes.